up? Danny Liberty, we're on Ryerson campus, and our 1837 series continues. That's right, Toronto Truth Seekers, we are looking into what happened in the old world, the old Canada, old York, muddy York, and trying to bring some of what we know from the history, or what we've been studying in history, and try to relate that to the New World Order's issues of today. And one of the characters from that old world order that I'm talking about is this statue right behind me, Egerton Ryerson. That's right, this university, Ryerson University, is named after Egerton Ryerson, who is thought of as a founding figure in the educational movement. I had the segment of William Lyon MacKenzie, which you might have saw, which we filmed at the MacKenzie House. I was talking a bit about the Upper Canada Rebellion, and this happened this was in the 1830s, and Egerton Ryerson was involved in that. Now, Egerton Ryerson is thought of as a reformist, as much as William Lyon MacKenzie is thought of as this radical, rebel, rabble-rouser. Egerton Ryerson is a reformist, Tory, a churchman. I guess he was a minister, and there was a time when William MacKenzie and Egerton Ryerson were in agreement. They were in agreement that things needed to change, and that the powers that be that ruled this whole land, Upper Canada, were the family compact. And this was a small group of people. They were most of them were all related. That's why it's the family compact. They all went to the same church. They're the Anglican. It was all controlled by the Archdeacon Strawn, who controlled the whole area. And at some point, there was a major falling out between them, Ryerson and Mackenzie. And this was when Mackenzie was deciding that he needed to have an armed rebellion. And Ryerson wasn't for that. That's why Ryerson is a reformist, because he wanted to change Canada from working within the government. Now, what Ryerson is most known for, apart from this university and things that are named after him, are founding the educational system. And if you're doing research on the New World Order, you'll find that many things in the educational system are actually brainwashing us today. And I've got some examples here from local newspapers here on Ryerson campus. This is from the March issue of the Ryerson Free Press. And this article actually here, you'll see Task Force on Anti-Racism delivers a final report. Nora Loretta opinion piece article, and I'm just going to read this quote here quickly. It says, almost 50 years later, there have been few changes to the Indian Act or to the racist legislation that came before it. Closer to campus, our very own Egerton Ryerson is credited with the founding of the normal school and the system and the basis for which the residential school system was developed. These systems became tools for the federal government assimilation policies that sought to destroy the nations of people whose land the settlers stole. So if you've researched the Indian Act and you've researched the residential schools, you'll find that the racist history of Canada was in fact aided by Egerton Ryerson's establishing of these and creation, and he was tasked with creating these schools. And this is way after the rebellion, okay? If you had been listening to CKLN, which is actually just in this building right over here, CKLN Studios on the Ryerson show that I'm a co-host on, Word of Mouth Wednesday, we had actually the Reverend Kevin Annett on in 2008, actually the day of the residential apology, and I even asked him about what he thought about this statue and the history. CKLN, we're broadcasting out of Ryerson University, and I looked up his biography, and it says that in 1847 he was commissioned, this is Ryerson, he was commissioned to design the model for the residential school system. Do you know of anything about Ryerson's role in making these?
Well, I know, that's very good. I'm glad you mentioned that. He was the architect, at least in Ontario, for the residential schools. He was a Methodist minister. In fact, early on in his career, he had supported William Lyon MacKenzie in his struggle for a while, against the family compact in the Tories and the Anglican Church that really ran Upper Canada. But then he kind of became very conservative, and he was one of the ones really advocating church control over Indian education. The history in Canada was time and again the government tried, especially during the 20th century, it tried to close down the residential schools, but it was because of concerted church pressure, from the Anglicans, the United Church, and the Catholics, that these schools stayed open, and so many children suffered and died as a result.
The powers that be, the government officials, the church officials, and the bank officials security officials were all in the same family, right? The family compact. When you find out that you have that kind of evil, it would make sense to be against it. But then there is a possibility that what could have happened had Mackenzie been successful could have been an even greater evil. Now, if you look into the criticisms of the rebellion or the reasons for it, one of the main ones is that they were afraid that if Canada became free, that we would never be able to become free of the United States, of America, which had a few generations before that, in 1776, gained their independence through armed rebellion. Now, when you look into that, you find out that that had a lot of Masonic connections. And, well, William Lyon MacKenzie, I do believe, is a hero, but after the rebellion was a failure, he escaped to America. As this was happening, rebels are escaping over a period of years, and they're being hunted. There were incursions from the U.S. by something they called hunters' lodges. Egerton Ryerson, as a reformist, was in the middle of all of this. One point, your society could be controlled by the Queen and the British establishment and the Anglican Church. And the other side, you could be controlled by the Masonic American kings of Washington. But you notice in this day and age, when you have a character like Jay-Z, for instance, promoting a rebelliousness in the video, if you watch a recent video, Run This Town, you'll see that they're all dressed in black with fire, and you know it seems very revolutionary, very rebellious. And then you see Jay-Z's wife Beyonce walking in with police in the latest MTV Awards. You know, it's like almost like both sides of that coin are being shown. You know, one's a New World Order police state, the other's a New World Order revolution and rebellion. I'm not sure which is which, but back to Ryerson campus here, we have the eye-opener activity issue. I think it came out on April 1st, so I think hopefully they were just joking around. But if you look through here, and these are the journalists of the future here, Ryerson journalism, you'll find something here. April Fools comes early. I think that this is total disrespect here. This is New World Order symbolism at Ryerson University. We got the RRC Respect Ryerson Committee going on. This is the Disrespect Ryerson Committee. But at this point, I am content with Ryerson University remaining under the name Ryerson, and I'm going to keep doing research into Ryerson, and mainly because I've noticed that the New World Order name would be Rogers. I'm not sure if it's going to go to Rogers University, but you look around, Ryerson University, are you or are you not? You know? Hopefully some of this made sense. Daniel Liberty right here at Ryerson campus, Toronto Truth Seekers, trying to figure out some stuff from the old world order to hopefully help us in our confrontations with the New World Order. Word up. Word up.